Hey, what's up? Dean, Seal Performance. Quick update today. It's an early day for me. I have to head out real quick, but Jeep still tried bleeding the brakes and started getting fluid on this side with the pump tool. So I'm just gonna continue to pump and pump and pump and pump and pump until something good happens. I gotta fill my jug. But other than that, most everything's ready to go. Still gotta wire that stuff. Magnum. Today is Thursday, so it was like Tuesday, I think. I started noticing a tick. Well, I started noticing a tick. Now, it may have been there before. I can't remember, but I don't think it was, but I noticed a tick. Yesterday I pulled the valve cover off, kind of ran through all the rocker bolts, and didn't find anything until I loosened the number one rocker bolt. So I took and rolled the motor over until number one exhaust valve started pushing open. As soon as it starts pushing open, number one intake is on the base circle. So I took and I undid the rocker bolt, and it cracked loose and then spun off. Like there was no preload on the lifter. So I double checked. It has all the tick push rods. I got them out now, but they're 7/400 length. I double checked the length on that one. And just kind of thought, man, either the lifters collapsed or I got the wrong size push rods, which normally 7/400s work. They'll be right within range. It's a factory head, 243 head. Like, there's really not anything that changed. But then I thought about it and I said, man, I did use a different rocker stand, one that I had. I wonder if the rocker stand might have something to do with it. And I don't know that it does, because I don't have I do have, actually. I have Jeff's rocker stands. They look the same, but I kind of wonder if maybe they're a little thinner overall. I don't know. I didn't even think to measure that against his. Could have milled them, to be honest with you, but I ended up today coming in and I used my push rod length checker, stuck it. I measured this push rod, 7/400, and it works out to like 7/407. It's like slightly more than 7/400. I put my push rod adjuster or push rod length checker, whatever, to that measurement, put it in there, spun the rocker down, and as soon as the rocker touches, like gets a little friction on the bolt, like I put a ratchet on it and it would go like maybe a quarter of a turn. So basically that tells me there's no preload on that lifter. So factory preload is like 50 to 100 thousandths. Some people might tell you a turn or this or that. I don't know nothing about turns or nothing like that. All I did was take my dial caliper, I set it to 7/450. That'll give me 50 thousandths, which is on the smaller side. I stuck it back in there and it gave me, it actually gave me preload. Like once the bolt went down, I was able to go like, I don't know, half, 3/4 of a turn or one turn or whatever it was. So I ended up kind of splitting the difference, and I went with a 4 4 475. Yeah, 7.475. So it's right in the middle of the 50 and 100,000s. So I ordered them from Tick. These are just the 5/16 080 wall push rods. Good enough for what this is. Plenty good enough for what this is. So I ordered those. Those will be on the way. I got all of these out. I'll box these up. I'll save them for something else. I have a Camaro coming. I think I held off on the push rods. I probably didn't. But, oh, actually, yeah, I might have held off on his push rods to measure them. Not seeing them. Yeah, they're not in there. So I held off on his push rods. So I will measure his push rods, and if they come out to 7,400, these are brand new. I just ordered them, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. So, and now I dirted them up real good. But I could just take those, throw them in his car if they're the right length, be done with it. Drive shaft. So I don't have them. 3D printed a bunch of different pieces. Just kept kind of, so this was the original one, this was the other one. So this is the original one that would take like the small flange. And those line up, the 3 bolts line up, but you see the 3 bolts are just, for me, these 2 are just a little too close. So I had this Spicer, it's 831, you can kind of see it down there, C3-2-83. Another style 4-bolt flange, just like an 8A, but I think these are like F250 or something like that. I can't remember what those are off of. So I measured it up, and then this is what I got now. So 1, 2, 3, there's at least twice as much meat between those bolts. We can see that opposed to that. So, and these are bolt hole size, so it's not the thread, like the bolt would fall right through this hole. So then I thought about it and I said, you know what? The plate itself is going to be threaded. Both holes will be threaded. So let me do drill size. So that's what's on the car right now. So there's actually, you know, with the drill size, there's a hair more, whatever. And then I ran a tap through my 3D printed piece, and so far it seems like it lines up. Yeah, like here's the 3 bolts, they're the same. Yeah, so you can see bolt, bolt, bolt hole. Those line up, and I know these 4 line up because I stuck it to the flange. I believe I did. I probably should, but hold on. Yeah, don't want to come on. Okay, so bolt hole, bolt hole, bolt hole, bolt hole. So those all line up, and now that it's actually a bigger diameter spacer, much bigger diameter spacer, but it works. And I stuck it in the car after I made the drive shaft, which I'm fighting with to get it off my neck. So I had the 4L80 yoke, which was a 1350 U-joint. I found the aluminum drive shaft. It was under the 56. It was way too long. I had that flange, I had that flange, which is a 1350 yoke. The drive shaft happened to be 1350 U-joint. So I just ordered two 1350 U-joints. There was already one in there. So I have an extra one in the bag. And I put it all together. So far, it seems like it's all working good. This side here, I got to get the clip on. I got to steal a clip out of the box and put it on this side. But I slid it up in the car, and it actually clears everything. It's a little bit close to the heat shield in the back, but it's like a little more than a finger width all the way around. I did cut this down. I drew a really nice straight line. Cut it where it needed to be cut, and then I brought the rest of it over to the lathe, which is that piece there. So this piece had that front yoke on it, and I brought it to the lathe, and I just started slowly taking away the weld until that popped. And you can see excuse me, they're pressed in, pretty tight. So I just kind of tapped it in with the hammer on both sides, and just kept measuring with the dial caliper the gap between this flange and the tube until it was even all the way around. Now mind you, cutting it might not be perfect, but I laid it on the bench. I put 4 tacks on it, measured it all the way around again, gave it a couple taps on one side, put a couple more tacks, checked it again, and then I burned it in really good. So essentially I have a drive shaft. I do need to bring it to get it balanced. I'm going to bring it over there to get it balanced, and that'll kind of tell me if this end is any good, or if I totally butchered it. But we'll see. I'm tempted to not balance it, but I don't know why I'm an idiot or something. It had 2 little balance tabs on it, so I'm sort of tempted to not balance it. I don't even know if they will balance it. I have to call them. But anyways, drive shaft's done. Exhaust is mostly in. I just gotta get some mufflers and figure out where I'm gonna go out the back. I think I'm gonna keep it like the factory, like I said, in the bumper. Get the push rods, put some wrap on that stuff. I'm gonna go through, because I have a couple other things coming in, so I'm gonna go through and pull all the AC wires out and try and at least figure out all the AC stuff, because it's all here. I would just have to remake this line here over to the compressor, and then this line here over to the compressor. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. And then I just have to wire everything in, which if I'm going to wire it in, I'm going to do IAC kick and the IAC kick. I think it's 1 wire off the Holly and input to kick your IAC up. So I'm not going to loom all that up yet, because I'll have to string another wire out. But if I can get all the AC stuff, and then I really hate the brackets, the really wide compressor mount brackets. I have a couple of lower brackets, but I think they're for truck. I think the Camaro is different. So I got to kind of look and see if I can get a low mount AC compressor bracket that would be nice, because then I can run the 2 AC lines underneath. Otherwise, if I have to get this one, I could bring that one to here and bring this one, you know, down across that subframe and up and onto it. I'm gonna blow everything out real good, and see if we can make the AC work in this car. Like, I probably have to make the AC work in the car. Like, nobody wants to buy a car with no AC. So if I can get everything hooked up, I think the only thing I'll have to do is swap that switch. But I just gotta see if that switch is closed or open, or how that one actually works, because that's the only switch I see. And if that is the only switch, then that is a high-low switch. It has 3 wires to it, so that it might actually be a high-low switch, which is perfect, because that'll give me a high pressure and a low pressure shut off. So I mean, I could probably make the AC work somehow, some way. I can make the AC work. I just need to find the signal wire, figure out the relay, how it's triggered, and hook it all up, charge it, and off we go. It'd be really nice to have the factory AC, because it does have a duct that blows to the back of the center console for the rear passengers. So it'd be really cool to have that functional. The car did kind of go like 214 the other day. I'm not overly worried about it, but at the same time, I'm not looking to run this car at 220 degrees. So I may have to look into one of two things: either better fans, because you can see there's a big gap around that factory fan shroud to the radiator, so maybe a different shroud and 2 of those Proform fans, or swapping out the radiator with like an aluminum radiator and better fans. I mean, there's a ton of room, and if I just get the inlet and the outlet the same, like, it'd be pretty easy to get it in there and just make a couple tab brackets. Also, I think I am going to add a reservoir jug. I'll take that piece out, that cap, and just put a piece of tubing between it, and I'll tee off of the heater hose like the factory car was, and I'll bring it over to a reservoir, and then bring the reservoir down to that tube there. I could weld fitting into that tube there, and that might be what I have to do to get the system higher and kind of let out a little bit better overall. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, struggle street, but everything's good. So quick update turns into me yakking forever. But anyways, I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos, leave me a comment, and as always, have a good day.